Hockey is indeed back, but we are back too here on the PHU Dynasty podcast. We are live and we are ready to talk about some 2025 season superlative awards, whatever you want to call them. Now that the season's over, Super Bowl is over, we'll get into some of that talk as well, just NFL news, coaching carousel, Senior Bowl, a lot of stuff kind of going on right now, even though the season's over. So,
the season's never over.
The season's never over, and we're close to free agency. Like, it's really hard to believe like we're already like kind of like this close to free agency as well, which is we'll have to do a whole free agency preview show. Maybe we'll do that with like the combine stuff as well.
I mean, Derek Carr is talking about unretiring. Football is so back.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about like the quarterback carousel, we'll maybe do like a quarterback carousel matchmaker. Yeah. Something like that will be fun. So we'll have a couple of those coming up over the next couple of weeks with kind of this flurry of activity. And then we're also going to have draft talk as well. We're going to finally start getting into that stuff here on the PHU Dynasty podcast as well. The year of the Dustin, if you will, in our fantasy drafts. So we'll see if he can continue adding to his roster. We'll definitely be talking about that in the superlative show here. So Sean, let's start with our awards and superlatives first, and then we'll do some news and notes towards the end. So right at the top, our first category is going to be fantasy MVP. We can call it dynasty, fantasy MVP. Not particular for any team, not it's just a general speaking fantasy MVP. I feel like you could go. What's that?
So just who was awesome.
Yeah, who was really freaking good this year. And I have a few names written down. I feel like I could pick any of the four, and I feel like I'd be happy with the answer.
I only put down two.
Okay.
So
what positions are they?
This one first. Yeah, let me take this one first, and then I'll let you, since you've got more. Okay. So I think the right answer is probably JSN this year.
Okay, interesting.
Just
I have him on my list, yeah.
For just what you were expecting versus what the reality was of what you got this year. I mean,
absolutely.
Especially from like a redraft lens, like just smashed.
Yeah, I mean, if you picked him redraft, you won basically.
And then my other guy is Trey McBride.
I had Trey McBride as my number one. I think he's the most, like, you look at the numbers, he was so much better than everybody else at his own position that truly he is the most valuable player.
Yeah.
Like
I have that written down. He scored 53% more points than the number 2 tight end.
I mean, that is just wild. I'm going to actually share I'm going to share this window over here. Let's see. Yeah, so the viewers at home can see as well that Trey McBride, I mean, fantasy points wise, was just electric all year. But he finished as tight end 1,200 yards and 11 touchdowns. But he was the next closest was Dallas Goedert at 126. I mean, it was 70 points more basically. I mean, that kind of production is just absolutely wild.
Yeah, Dallas Goedert, who I never played during the season.
It's funny because I might bring him up. I might bring him up later on a different question, but I mean that to me, he, like, if you're looking at value, you're talking to a guy who gets 169 targets at the tight end position. Like, that is just, the floor is so high. He got the touchdowns finally this year.
Well, he didn't have Kyler holding him back anymore.
That's a huge piece of the puzzle. Somebody that actually attacks the middle of the field. I mean, that's a whole different thing. And then I had, JSN obviously on the list. I mean, he was such a stud all year, but I also had Puka Nacua on there. Puka, I mean, literally basically the same stats as JSN, 253 on the year, 250 for Smith and Jig. But
I mean, games too, I think.
He also had like more of those spike games as well, like those bigger, like 29-point games, 36-point game in the fantasy playoffs, games like that. Like, I think that should factor in a little bit to like the true MVP of the year. So if it was me, I would rank those three, McBride, Puka, JSN probably. And then I had a Matt Stafford on there as well, all things considered, for our league.
Yeah, he's coming up.
Yeah, I mean, he was a monster. So Anyway, let's go to our next category, which on this list is going to be the breakout player of the year. I had some fun ones for this one as well. I mean, there was lots of options this year, I think. I guess I'll go first on this. I have a list of 4 as well. I have a really hard time picking between 2 of these guys because I think, man, they're pretty, but they're very different in terms of like their overall production and whatnot. I think the true breakout is George Pickens. I mean, if you, I mean, you're talking about the guy that finished as wide receiver 4 on the season after being wide receiver 41 the year prior. 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns, dominated games when Lamb was out, played really well when Lamb was in. Seems very likely to I think he is receiving the franchise tag, which is kind of unsurprising probably to most people considering the organization. He ain't gonna like that.
There was already a report that he's not going to do any off-season programs if he's on the tag. So
I mean, I literally, I would bet everything I have that he wouldn't show up to fucking the OTAs. Like, there's no way that he's gonna play on this, or he's gonna make it hard at least. But yeah, he was awesome all year, and like that's the thing is like when Pickens came out and really just nobody thinks he's a bad player. Nobody ever thought he was a bad player. He was always supremely talented. It's just a matter of the situation and can he keep his mentals in check. And this year he finally did. And clearly, obviously, the contract year, that was my argument preseason for his breakout. It clearly worked. Yeah, he was awesome. So he's going to be my breakout player of the year. Sean, who do you have for yours then?
So I had Pickens, and I only had one other guy on there. I had Drake May.
Yeah, Drake May was my number 2. So I really thought he was great as well. Obviously, his numbers were great. What do you have? 31 touchdowns, I think, on the year, which was a ton more than the year prior. Yeah, 31 touchdowns, 8 picks, 4,300 yards. The previous year, he only had 15 touchdowns. So he went from quarterback 23 last year to number 2 this year. So, yeah, I mean, I love his nickname.
So,
I'm sorry?
Offensively. On a team that's really still not super talented offensively. So
they're not there yet, man. Like their receiving core is still lacking. They could use an upgrade at tight end probably. I mean, they obviously need an offensive line, as we found out in the Super Bowl, as most people saw. Yeah, there's still room for him to get better and better, and he's already QB2. It's pretty amazing. He only had 4 rushing touchdowns this year too, which I feel like he had more. But 31 touchdowns is going to do it pretty much any year. I also had a couple other guys on the list. I actually will save one of them for a later topic, but I think it was a quiet breakout for this next guy I'll talk about. Really just flew under the radar pretty much all year. I'm going to Chris Olave. He went from literally 2022, he was the 22nd ranked receiver, then 24th ranked, and then last year he had a lot of injuries, was 93. This year he ends up as wide receiver 6 on 156 targets, 1,100 touchdowns, 9 touchdowns. Or I'm sorry, 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. Like that is a great bounce back from a bad year, and he's only 25 years old. He's got Shuck, who somehow looks good to our literally disbelief, because I just can't believe that he looks even remotely competent. So that's been a hell.
He'll be an answer later.
He looks like a problem. So, so yeah, I think Olave is a quiet breakout candidate this year because it didn't feel like at any point there was that like monstrous game for him until the end of the season, where he had like the 148-yard game, I think, against it's at the end of the year. But most of the games he was just like ho-humming 6, 7, 8 points and then dropping a couple 17s and whatnot in there. So like he looks like an actual like legitimate wide receiver 2 heading into next year, which is great for Dustin because he's kind of flush with those guys right now. So yeah, he's going to be my next choice. And then we'll go to our next category, which was a fun one, Sean. This is the most unlikely player to be fantasy important. And I tried to say important instead of relevant, because relevant is like, oh yeah, like he could be like a starter maybe. I think important is a different category, because like this is a guy that you could start at points of the year and feel good about it. So like that's kind of where I was kind of going with this.
Okay.
So I'm curious. I have a long list for this one. I wrote too many names down, and I'm gonna have to make a choice. So I'm gonna let you pick first.
I've got 4.
Oh wow, I have 6, so this will be fun.
I got Stafford just based off of how the preseason was going last year and him being like a fucking jet stream trying to revive his back to being the number 1 quarterback in fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, I probably should have wrote that because I don't have him on my list, but that makes a ton of sense based on where we were at.
Just based on, I mean, like, I think we both obviously know that Stafford's a sick quarterback, but like, you just didn't know what was going to happen at the beginning of the year. So
his numbers like were crazy, by the way.
It was like insane.
44, 48 touchdowns, like absolutely absurd numbers. Yeah, we could go back and forth if you want. This would be kind of fun. All right, my next one is Michael Wilson.
Yeah,
like
he's on the list.
Absolutely out of nowhere, dude. Like I was like, all right, this guy. Like I thought for a long time that he was the modern day Marvin Jones, where it was like, okay, like he'll be, 60 yards and a couple of touchdowns in a game at some point in his career, just like kind of like these random touchdowny, fluky type of games. Maybe at some point when I drafted him, I didn't see him being like what they thought Marvin Harrison Jr. was going to be. So like those couple of games where like it was him and Jacoby Brissett going absolutely ham on the whole league, like those against quality opponents. Like it was like legitimate good teams that they were playing, and he was performing. He looks like a clear guy moving forward that's going to be important for them. Guaranteed starter next year, obviously. So like to be important this year, like he was very startable this year. And at the beginning of the season, if you said I was going to start Michael Wilson in my wide receiver like 2 or 3 spot, I would say that's absolutely insane. So I'm very sorry that I had to trade him for no reason. So I mean, like I traded. So it's funny. Most of the players on this list are players that I traded away or got rid of at some point. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, it's just the way it goes. So who's next on yours then?
Okay. I think one of them we're both gonna have.
Okay.
So I'll go with him. Kenny Gainwell.
Kenny Gainwell's next on my list, number 2.
Yeah.
Guy was relevant. He was out there.
Classic Aaron Rodgers, fucking lean on a vet instead of playing your rookies.
Yep. I mean, he was out there. I mean, like insane. He was. I remember like there was a couple of games I was like, dude, Kenny Gainwell is a thing. Like he's actually a thing this year. I mean, he had a 25-point game against the Vikings in week 4, like a good run defense. He had another really good game towards the end of the year against Cincinnati, and then in the fantasy playoffs, he was 10 points in every single game to close out the season. So he was very important for flex teams and positions like that. So, I mean, it's taken him so long to get here. I mean, he never finished higher than running back 45 at any of his 4 years in Philly. Mm-hmm. So that is a true unlikely player.
His approval rating was always high with Eagles fans. It had nothing to do with him. Like they just always had another guy that they invested in, and they just eventually just didn't want to keep him. But I don't think any Eagles fan ever thought that he wasn't a good back. I think it was just he was buried, and everybody thought he was buried in Pittsburgh until he wasn't. So yeah, that one, yeah, I can't remember going into draft season last year and hearing his name once.
No, it was Caleb Johnson's other guys. Like it was everybody but Kenny Gainwell, basically.
I looked up what Caleb Johnson's ADP was for last season. Do you want to guess?
Like it was around 8.
It was total pick.
Oh.
I was just looking on Sleeper earlier when I was doing.
Yeah, I mean, I would have said 85 or something. Please.
I saw 55.
That is just. That one hurts team morale. I mean, that is as bad as you could possibly be. That's brutal.
Big whiff.
Sean, I don't think he had 100 yards this year.
I don't think he had.
I'm going to Google it right now. I'm going to find out.
The only thing I can remember is him muffing the kickoff.
The kickoff was horrific. So he had 28 carries for 69 yards, 2.4 average. So that's about as bad as a flop as you could have as a rookie running back. But going back to Kenny Gainwell, yeah, what was interesting is this year is he got a huge bump in the third down game. I mean, he had 500 yards receiving on 85 targets, which was way more than anything he's ever had with Philly. So like he just really needed the opportunity. So anyway, he's looking good. So it'll be my turn next. I'm gonna go with another former player of mine, and I'm gonna go Alec Pierce. He was very relevant this year for fantasy. Like there were definitely, I think there were definitely weeks where you could start Alec Pierce. I know Scavelli did throughout the year where you got legitimate production from him. I mean, he had, I think he finished wide receiver 16 on the year, which is pretty wild to think about.
Have you seen some of the potential numbers that are coming out for a contract for him?
I was listening to, who was I listening to? I was listening to Rich Eisen, I think, like one of his random interviews, and they were talking about Alec Pierce with like Tom Pelissero or whatever, and they're talking about his numbers. He's gonna get just dumb money. He's gonna get stupid money.
It's starting with a 3.
And that's just, I like the guy, but Jesus Christ, like that is gonna be stupid. Like, what is he? You think he's like a 4-year, 120 mil?
Indy's talking about tagging him.
I mean,
which is
the thing is, I think he's a great fit for that offense, and like he's a good young receiver. But like, is he worth like wide receiver 1 money?
I mean, we're gonna find out if they want him or Pittman, because I don't think they can have both.
There's no way they could. Like, you would think they would choose Pierce because he's the younger asset.
Yeah, Pittman's got some back injury history too. Older.
Yeah,
I would.
I don't know. He had a good year. I mean, but he only had 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. Like, it's not like he had like a 1,500-yard year. We're talking about a superstar, but it's just this market for receivers is terrible in free agency. It's awful. Yeah. But it's a very good receiver draft class again. So it's like, it's going to be, fine. I think it's good. I like it. We'll have to, that's a discussion for another day. Maybe I'm just telling myself that because I have pick 6 and I'm hoping that it's just like, oh, maybe one of the guys will be good. But yeah, Alec Pierce was next on my list. Who else you got?
So the last guy on my list is Jake Tonjes.
Oh, wow. That's a fun one. Yeah, and that truly is unlikely. You talk about unlikely. I mean,
I had never heard of him until this year.
I mean, Jake Tonjes is like, I love the tongs, the memes with the tongs or whatever. Like, it's very funny. Like, I love it. I will also say another one on my list was Parker Washington.
That's a good one.
I mean, I didn't think he would be anything more than like a bye week fill-in type of situation. He ended up being wide receiver 21 on the year. So I mean, that's as good as he
turned Travis Hunter into a cornerback. That's amazing.
Sure did. Yeah. And Alex picked him up right before the season or right during the season. So that actually worked out really, really well. One of the better pickups of the year, all things considered. He had a really good end to the season too. He had like 100 yards in his last couple of games against Denver and Indy, which were really quality of defenses at the time. So anywho, that was the last one. I had one more. I'll save it for maybe another category. Let's get into most disappointing player. I'm going to start with this one because we just said his name was Caleb Johnson. Like, how could you be that bad? It's like, I mean, like, I know Jaylen Warren is like a fine back, and like I don't think he's anything like special, but he's a good back. Like Kenny Gainwell is also like a good back, but there's clearly like there was an opportunity for him to like carve into the carries. And we had heard from Charlie Campbell previously that, he had some off the field stuff and like that kind of probably played into this in some way that we don't really know, from where we're sitting. But clearly the fumble that we mentioned earlier, that was we didn't see him again. That was it. Like, he just didn't show. Like, I think they were playing he was inactive, wasn't he, Sean? You mean you had him?
I dropped him. I haven't redraft, but I dropped him after like the first 4 weeks. I imagine he was probably inactive for a few weeks after the special team stuff.
I mean, I mean, like, I drafted him thinking in a couple other leagues, thinking like, okay, like maybe like he can come back from this, but then he just like stopped like being involved at all. And it's like, you're talking about a disappointing play, like being with that ADP that you mentioned in the 5th, 6th round, like that's as disappointing as it gets. Like, that's just a complete like you can't even play that guy. So anyway, that was my pick for most disappointing. Let's hear who you got.
I've got 3 names. I can rapid fire them. You're not going to like two. Actually, you won't like all 3 of them because I know they were on your teams this year.
Yeah, I've got one of them. I mean, we should probably just say Justin Jefferson then.
Jefferson, Brian Thomas Jr.
Mm-hmm. That was my other guy. So those are my 3 right there.
I have Jalen Hurts on there.
Oh, interesting.
He finished QB8. So it's not like it's not awful, but like just looking at his career fantasy points, like the last 3 years, they've just been in dissension.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's fair to say.
He feels like he should be like in that category with Lamar and Josh Allen every year, but like he's starting to trend away from that. So it was just something I wanted to bring up, and I just throwing that out there.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. The key to that situation this year was the decline in the rushing touchdowns. I mean, he went from 14 to 8 this year, and also I think he missed the last game against Washington and got hurt in that Chargers game. Or not hurt, but he played like ass in that Chargers game. We had 4 picks, so that was, I mean, that was awful. So
try to warn everybody before that game that that's like the worst possible defense for him to play against.
I mean, just blitz fest. I mean, yeah, like that. I remember watching that game like that. You couldn't get me any more than 4, like 0.4, like bro, like you're killing me out here. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a bounce back candidate, just depending on the new offense. That offense was such a fucking joke.
It can't be worse. Yeah.
So I would hope he could get back into that top 5.
Yeah, it'll depend on who's on this offense this year. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And then let's talk quickly about the other 2 that you mentioned. So Brian Thomas, obviously, heading into the year, everybody kind of had him in that, top, I guess 2nd round of the redraft, 3rd round of the redraft, thinking that he was going to be able to get, build on that performance he had the year prior. We did not get that this year. It wasn't there. There was that stretch of time where the drops were the problem. I think it was like the first 3 games. The first game of the season, I remember I started him, and he had 1 catch for the yard on 7 targets, and I was like, oh no, this is not looking good. And then the next week he had 4 catches on 12 targets. So it's like clearly it was broken out the gate. He picked it up a little bit, but then he got injured in the middle of the year, so that didn't help anything. And it just didn't ever really get on the right track at any point this year. He was wide receiver 45. So, I mean, to come from where he came from at wide receiver 4 the year prior, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, down to 707 and 2. I mean, that's a disappointment. Like, I don't think I'd be curious. I'd love to hear, James's thoughts on that because of the trade that went down with him, last year as well. Because that was a big piece of that Travis Etienne, Joe Mixon trade, and you would at the time it looked like he had maybe gotten 3 first rounds in value because he got a first round pick in return, and then got Brian Thomas as well. So it's like, oh man, we got 3 firsts basically for Mixon, Etienne, and a second. And I'm seeing like now that he might be a trade candidate, Sean.
I think they've doubled down on the fact that they're keeping him. My concern is more with him and his like unwillingness to really get into the middle of the field as just a receiver. That's terrifying. And he
kind of did it as a rookie though. It's so strange. Like,
he was winning over the top a lot.
He did have a lot of like over the top broken play touchdowns.
He's, as I've been like really, and when I say really, like diving deep into the receiver classes over the last few years, he's like he's the biggest statistical outlier as far as like what his production profile is and succeeding as a rookie in the NFL. Because his advanced analytics in college would say that he was going to bust as a receiver just because of some metrics that he didn't hit. I don't want to get like super specific about it, but like the fact that he broke out and now it's like trending back the other way is a little scary. That's all I'll say.
No, that's fair. And with like this offense as a whole took a step forward, and he was really the only guy to take a step back. Like everybody in that offense, Etienne, what's his name? Washington played really well this year. Trevor Lawrence played really well this year. Like they had like
Jacoby Myers looks like he was born to play in this offense.
Myers was great at the end of the year. So like it's getting crowded too there, which is another piece. So it's not a good sign to me when everybody else is in the ascension and he's not. So that just doesn't feel good for his stock moving forward. But he's still young and there's still a chance for him to come back and kind of regain his confidence. But
I mean, I still have a lot of faith in him. Like when he had the ball in his hands as a rookie, like he's just one of those guys that moved just differently than other guys on the field. So like he's still got plenty there to be that guy again. But I am concerned that he just felt like we were taking 2 steps back and not even 1 step forward this year.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a single game that was like, oh shit, there's the guy from last year. I just didn't see it. All right. Then Justin Jefferson, as mentioned, he finished wide receiver 20, maybe not even the 20s. Hold on. Jefferson, Mr. Jefferson. He finished wide receiver 30 on the year with 2 touchdowns and 1,048 yards. I mean, like, obviously, I gave up 2 firsts for him along with Addison. Did not get the ROI this year. Really hoping it picks up, but obviously, this was. I think most people would say this was a quarterback issue. This is not a Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, find me anybody that thinks that year was on Jefferson, and I will be shocked. Is what it is.
If you threw Jacoby Brissett into that situation, I feel like you get a much more productive season. Literally, I'm not even asking for like a great quarterback, just like anybody that can. Can I have Sam Darnold back? Is the question. I would love to have Sam Darnold back. Like that would.
I heard there are beat reporters in Minnesota throwing around Geno Smith as an option. I would be okay with that.
That sounds better.
You could throw Kirk Cousins back there. He just got released.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. Obviously,
that's fine.
It can't really get worse for Justin Jefferson at this point. Like, because I mean, that was as bad as it can really get. Like, we're talking the ghost of Carson Wentz. We're talking just nothing at the quarterback position. Still gets his 141 targets, and like he is still the guy. So it's just a matter of getting.
Do you think McCarthy is salvageable?
I'm leaning no right now.
I don't think so.
Which is crazy.
The mechanics look terrible.
There was never a point at any time last season where I felt I saw like I feel so much better about Tyler Shough, which is just not like I can't even believe I'm saying that, but that's the way it is right now. Like I didn't see anything that would say like, oh, JJ McCarthy really flashed there. I didn't see the flashes. There wasn't really any. It was just a guy that looked terribly inexperienced. His mechanics didn't look good, and he looked like exactly kind of what people thought he would be out of college, like a really raw quarterback prospect that would take time to develop.
Yeah, it's not like he's got like super toolsy stuff to like lean back on. Like he's not bad at anything.
Good arm.
But he's not. Yeah, it's not crazy. It's not.
He's not much of a scrambler. Like he's
Anthony Richardson, where you're like, holy shit, this guy can throw 60 yards on like his knee.
Yeah, he's a project quarterback without elite traits, which is like that's kind of tough, especially in fantasy. Like we're talking about, dynasty wise, like he's not much of a runner either. So like you're not going to get any floor there. I don't know. Yeah, I like Kevin O'Connell a lot. I'm still going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I don't feel good about it.
When it should really be like we need to plant this in our minds when you're talking yourself into a guy and it starts and ends with intangibles and like nothing else.
Yeah, that's
red flag.
Yeah, that's how you get Zach Wilson. Like that's the stuff like where there's not like
Zach Wilson had he has an arm.
He does have a rocket. I'll say that. But I don't think JJ McCarthy doesn't have a good arm. I think he has a very good arm. It's just a matter. It's not like
I think it's good enough. But
yeah, like he's not gonna. It's not gonna be like like there's other quarterbacks that have no arm. Like this is like he's got something there. I just feel that he was 22 this year. He lost his entire year to Rook. With the injury last year, like it's so I don't want to, call him a bust, but it's starting to feel that way. Like it's like just the trend is going that direction, but like he still has upside clearly, and he's in the right situation to get it right. So like I feel better. If he was on the Browns, I would have rid him off already. Like it's over.
I think like in the last week, somebody asked Kevin O'Connor, whatever, KOC, yeah, that like what are they still planning on McCarthy being the long-term answer at quarterback? And he's like, McCarthy knows how we feel about him. That being said, timelines have shifted a bit.
Oh boy, not a good sign. Not a good sign. Yeah.
So like, it definitely is like happening that a veteran quarterback is going to be there playing this year, and they can't just go out and get whoever they want because they are not in the best financial situation. They can definitely move stuff around, but it's not an ideal world.
Yeah, and apparently 9 hours ago, the executive vice president of football operations, I guess it's the new guy that took over for Kwesi, said that we have a couple of weeks prior to free agency, so we're exploring every option and we're casting a wide net, exploring all opportunities. So this is not sounding good for him. Like, it sounds like there's going to be some legitimate competition in that quarterback room. So we'll see.
What's funny is the Bears leadership talking about Tyson Bagent today or yesterday.
Oh my God. I like Tyson Bagent. He's a nice guy.
They were talking about him like it was a fucking funeral, like he was already gone and they've already traded him to another team.
Yeah, I mean he's
they can't just keep him if they want to.
Yeah, like no, so he could be there, but like he's gonna be gone. I think at that point, just be like somebody's gonna want to try a young quarterback with some upside. All right, next category. This is a fun one, Sean. Vulture of the year.
And I do like this one. This one racked my brain a bit. I have 3.
So like I think there's one really clear option, and then then you can go anywhere else. So like let's let you do the first one, and let's see where we go from there.
Charbonnet?
Yeah, Charbonnet was the clear out. Like he had 12 touchdowns. He fucked Kenny Walker all year long. Kenny
Walker got the last fuck in the Super Bowl.
He sure did. And he's gonna get paid because of it. Yeah, Charbonnet is like, I think it's 700 yards and 12 touchdowns. So that's like pure Lendale White magic right there. Like that's what we're here for. I had a hard time really like finding another one. I almost wanted to dip into non-running back categories because I think you could.
I dipped.
Okay, good. I'm glad you dipped.
Charbonnet was the only running back I had.
I considered Dallas Goedert just because like
that's fair.
He got a couple of those, like he had 11 touchdowns on 500 yards. That feels very like fluky to me in terms of the red zone.
So the reason I didn't put Goddard on here is because when they were at the 2-yard line this year, all of that stuff was designed for him.
Yeah, and that's why like he truly is a vulture. That's what it is. Like
I think he was brought back because he was a cut candidate last year, and they were brought back with the idea that like we're gonna get you. We got
to do something here. Yeah.
We
got to do something.
My second guy is Devontae Adams
because that's another great. That's a great. I really didn't think about that one.
The 1-yard touchdown passes.
He had a lot of goal line touchdown slants.
Kyren Williams.
Yep. That's a great one. He got Puka. He got everybody. He had a ton of those 1-yarders.
I think I could give you 100 guesses. I don't think you would get my third guy.
Oh man! All right, I'll give you 2 then. So I had Tyler Algier. So I think he had 8 that were within the last like 5 yards off of Bijan. So I'll go with Algier, and then Chris Rodriguez was my next one because he would just like show up randomly and hit Chris Rodriguez with a touchdown. Hey, wait a second, that should have been somebody else in this offense. So
where's Bill?
Yeah, and then Bill actually had 8 himself, I think.
Yeah,
which is surprising because I feel like he didn't do shit the second half of the year. So, all right, let's hear who, like. Can I have a hint? Can I have something?
He's got a really long first name.
Long first name. Holy crap! What position? Can I have a position?
No.
Damn it. Okay, so it's got to be a niche position. Is it tight end?
No.
Tight end. No. Damn it. All right, just go ahead and let it rip. I'm not gonna get it.
Kaimi Fairbairn.
Oh man. That's a great one because boy did he kick some field goals.
He kicked 44 field goals this year.
I didn't know he made that many. Oh my god, let me see this again. I haven't looked at kicker stats recently, Sean, but this might be the first time of the year. So
what's hilarious is he didn't even lead the kicker position this year in points.
I mean,
because they didn't score enough. He didn't have enough extra points.
Let's see, field goals. Yeah, field goals made inside 30 was 16. That's crazy. Yeah, that was a lot higher than everybody else. This is a random one. Yeah, I wouldn't expect to see this at all. Yeah, he did shit for extra points. He had 28 extra points. He only scored 28 touchdowns. It's crazy. He made them all. Made them all.
Sure did. He's a great kicker.
He did not make a single field goal. Oh, never mind. That's a weird stat. It says like field goals made over 50, and then there's like a 50 to 59 stat, so that doesn't really add up.
All that to say is like that coaching staff was not very aggressive in going for fourth downs and stuff.
No, that team was just kind of fucked up. That was a weird year for that offense. Like I still don't know what to make of that offense. All right, great answer for the Vulture of the Year. Keep me fair. Didn't think we'd see that.
Gotta keep the people on their toes.
Yeah, that's a serious on your toes moment. All right, so we're gonna get into the rookie draft, and we're gonna do the best rookie pick from each round. So I don't know how deep you went into this, Sean. I got into the 6th round and then gave up on 7.
Yeah, 7's bad. I did 7 for the love of the game, but I have them all.
We'll let you rip off your 7s when we get there. I didn't even get. I couldn't look at that and be like, yeah, I'm gonna put him on my list. Like I just can't do it. All right, so let's start with the first round. I'll pick mine. I'm still gonna go Emeka Egbuka at 1-8. I just feel like the value at that selection, the production early in the year, definitely. I think he finished with just shy of 100 or 1,000 yards. Had a bunch of touchdowns as well. Just looks like a pro. To get him at that point in the draft for Dustin, I really thought that was a good pick, and I think the best pick overall considering where he went.
Okay, yeah, I went Tet.
Yeah, Tet was my other option.
Yeah, I mean he was just really good. He's that guy.
Cracked 1,000 yards as well. Yeah, and like he was a guy that obviously we talked about him a lot on this podcast. That maybe we weren't fully sold on him as like a high wide receiver 1 situation kind of guy, but like he definitely looks the part. It's just when you see him move, like we were talking about this with Brian Thomas a little bit earlier. Like you see a guy that big move the way he does, like he's going to be a special player as long as he can continue getting better with the route running and stuff like that. So I think he's a really great player. Second round was interesting because I thought there were a few options here, especially early in the second round. I'm going to go with Tyler Warren at 2-4. I just thought the value was good for like basically getting a pretty much start and like if you could just draft a tight end at any point nowadays in Dynasty and he gets you 700 yards and like 7 touchdowns, like that's a slam dunk basically, even if it's a little high in the draft here for tight ends. Like usually, like I thought this was a great pick. But I definitely could have gone with a couple other players in this range. So like who else would we go with here?
I went with Loveland. I mean,
that's another one too.
Phenomenal this year, and he's tied to Ben Johnson going forward. So just as like the holistic dynasty view, I think it's great.
Yeah, he was a stud at the end of the year. Like he looked like he's gonna be a serious problem for most defenses going forward, and he's 21 years old, so like he's going to be awesome. I gave an honorable mention here to Cam Skattebo as well. When he was playing, he looked really freaking good. Looked exactly like kind of what we thought his ceiling would be right out of the gate, which is awesome.
And then the Jeremiah Love to the Giants stuff came out today.
I saw that and I was like, that's got to be a smokescreen for trade bait, right? Like that has to be. There's no way. Like that. That's so Giants.
I did a mock today, and if Jeremiah Love doesn't go to the Saints or the Chiefs, I'm not really sure where he goes. Anybody could take him. Like it's probably an upgrade of your position, but like that's the tricky thing about running backs in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, like it has to be the right team at the right time with the worst GM you can imagine. Like that's basically like the big trio that you need to have a running back go high. Like there has to be a Trent Baalke or a Terry Fontenot or somebody like that that's dumb enough to really invest that.
I did the thought exercise and I didn't give him to either of those teams, and I ended up having Minnesota trading up to take him at 12.
Minnesota would be a really great fit for him, frankly. Like that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was like, what other team needs a running back? Like,
I mean, they need one. They still need a lot of other shit too. Like, I don't know. They're kind of a mess as well. Yeah. So anyway, I do think Skattebo, as long as he keeps his current role, like he should be a good player. I mean, the injury was a freak injury, so it's just a matter of how long he can keep his brain cells working. Next in the third round, I'll let you go first this time, Sean.
I went with my homer pick. I took Torrey Horton because he was really good until he got hurt.
I don't. I think I looked at Torrey Horton and then I saw his numbers and I was like, I just don't know if I could give him. I don't know if I could put him over a guy like Jackson Dart, who, like, from a fantasy perspective, he's gonna be a rusher. So like, I don't think they're like that
Almost
far
his
apart.
brains.
Yeah, that's another one with like his brain cells. Like, who knows if that happens? But I mean, I think Jackson Dart, now that I've seen it and see the rushing upside moving forward, and now that he has a good head coach kind of tied to him as well, like, I feel like the arrow's definitely pointing up on him.
Mhm.
And I was not much of a believer. So frankly, I'm still not much of a believer, but like, at least the rushing upside is there, that like he could be something at least for fantasy.
Yeah, the hype based on and like what was actually on film are not very correlated to me.
No, like,
Honestly.
he's just like a fun player. Like, there's
Mhm.
like, the amount of times I sat here watching the games in red zone and stuff and just saw like his dumb TikTok dances and like his stupid crap that he would, the antics and whatnot, and whatever he was wearing at his press conference, like all that. And then when you watch the game, it's like, oh well, he threw for like 175 yards and just ran for his life for the other. Like, it's not that good. Like, it didn't feel that good,
Mhm.
but he
To
had
be fair
moments where it was nice.
to be fair to him, I think he got all of half a game with Malik Neighbors before Neighbors tore his ACL. So like he hasn't had
Correct.
a number one receiver yet.
I mean,
So we'll
he's
see.
he's got upside. I mean, he had 15 touchdowns, 5 picks, which is, pretty good interception ratio, all things considered. But he did play 14 games, but only had 2,000 yards passing. So there's just not a lot of great passing at this point in his career. But I think with the new coaching staff there, it should be a boost for him. And then I also like threw an honorable mention for Isaac Tesla, another guy that like might be even in that Torrey Horton, like, needs more of an opportunity, but looks really good whenever he gets thrown the ball. Like, one of those situations, like he could be something
Mhm.
too. But it was kind of a bad third round this year, Sean. Like, not a really good third round so
Not
far.
a great time for me to take 4 of the 10 picks is what you're saying, huh?
Yeah, like, I was looking, I was like, oh, let's see what Dem Neal did, and then I was like, he didn't really do anything. Then I look at Brashard Smith, and he didn't really do anything. I was like, oh no.
Neal was fine when he started to get like the injury replacement stuff.
Yeah, he was
Jalen
involved.
Noel is good, and they just don't use him. That blows my mind. Him
Yeah,
and Higgins, they were both good. They just
yeah.
didn't get the
Higgins
ball.
Higgins numbers started getting better at the end of the year, but still wasn't great. They love it, Xavier Hutchinson. I don't know why. Um, And then let's go to the fourth round. Not a great fourth round either. I hate that I
This
have to
was
say
better
Tyler
than
Shuck. I have to
yeah,
say it.
yeah, it's Shook.
And then I think my
Woody Marks.
secondary option was Io Manor.
Oh, not Woody Marks? That's surprising.
I think he stinks, Sean. Like,
I do
I
too,
don't.
but he had a good year.
Yeah, it's just, I
But he
guess,
was
like,
relevant.
for what you got. Yeah, he was relevant for what you needed this year out of that pick. Like, that is
I
very fair. I just think he stinks.
every every beat or Houston is looking for a running back this offseason though. So
I mean,
we'll
it was
see.
a one and done. Yeah, it's like he looks like a great, like, the reincarnation of Alfred Blue. Like, he's just around. Like, he's gonna be that number two guy that when he plays, you're gonna be like, oh, let's grab him off the waiver wire, and then he
I
gets 16
he's going to
carries
be
for
a
55 yards.
great. He's going to be an excellent complementary back to Kenneth Walker next year in Houston. I'll tell
Oh
you that
wow,
right now.
he's gonna be a guy like in 15 years when we're at our redrafts and we're just randomly naming random running backs. We're gonna be like, you remember Woody Marks? He's gonna be one of those guys, and I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to it in the future. All right, fifth round actually was pretty damn good this year. Way better than rounds 3 and 4. So I was saving this guy because I also had him on my breakout player of the year, was Harold Fannin. I
Mhm.
love Harold Fannin. I think he's a really good player, and he basically had as good as a tight end season for rookies you can have, and had it on the Browns. So
104 targets as a rookie tight
that's
end.
crazy, and clearly was better than David Njoku this year. Like, not even close in the receiving game. So like, you have all that combined, and he had 6 downs, 731 yards, finished as tight end 6 on the year. He's 21 years old, and he did it all with the worst quarterbacking unit you could possibly imagine. So like, he is literally right in the top like 6 dynasty assets at tight end immediately. You get him in the 5th round here. It's a classic Scavelli pick. This is what Scavelli does. We've said it year in and year out. He just does it.
It was my favorite hot take from last year. Here at Philip, he'll be a top 10 or he'll be a top 10 tight end in redraft in 26. It's great.
I mean, that's slam dunk at this point. I mean,
the whole tight end rookie class is like such a breath of fresh air because the tight end's been tough the last few years.
It's been like even the guys that like you thought would be good at the top for the last couple of years really have not been that great. Like this class was a breath of fresh air for sure, and I think it's gonna be a down tight end class this year too. So, like this is gonna be kind of like that outlier year of just like guys like Warren. You get guys like Loveland, you have Hank Fannin, you got many guys, like even like guys like Gunnar Helm could like take a step up. Like there's going to be other guys that pop up too. So I like that one. Who else you got, Sean?
I had Fannin, but the 5th round was pretty good. I think Monangai was in there in the 5th round.
Yeah, he was 5'2".
And then Bill was the end of the 5th round.
Also. Yeah, I had Bill and Monangai were my other two, which like all things considered, like those are better than all 4 of the other players that I had on my list for the 3rd round. So that was Jackson Dart, Tesla, Shuck, Io Manor. So a really good 5th round this year, which is the reason why we do these 5, 6, and 7 rounds waiver draft type things. Because like you can still find guys like there's still guys out there, and I always want to promote that in this league specifically. Like if you have the eye for it and have done the research on these guys and the situations and stuff, like this is where you can get rewarded. So and in the 6th round there was a couple of guys that I could mention as well. I'm gonna say one of them, not really for this league but for another league. Sean, do you know who I'm talking about?
I do. Is it Chimere DK?
It is our Chimere DK for the Off the Rails League. Superstars, legend in the Off the Rails League, absolute superstar for the return yards. He actually like did function reasonably well for a rookie this year. So I mean, like he's worth mentioning. But then Aronde Gadsden is the other one, right?
Yeah, that's what I had. Yep.
Yeah, so Aronde, obviously he gets traded, and James gets a good young tight end and trades him away. I'm interested to see who James picks this year, and then eventually trades away as well at the tight end position. So that'll be fun. All right, then we have 3 more questions. We'll wrap this up. So we have the fantasy playoff MVP. Sean, who did you pick?
Who did I pick? What's his name? Oh, Chase Brown. I picked Chase Brown.
Chase Brown's a great one.
Really, just so good. Week 16, 17.
Really, I mean, good. That's all you can ask for, really. I mean, I had Derrick Henry as mine because that week 16 and 17 game where he had 23 points against New England, and then the monster week 17 game in the championship game, unfortunately, wasn't ultra utilized with Scavelli this year, but in that championship game, but would have had 47 points in the championship game. Like that's an absolute ball buster for anybody that played against him. So I also had Bijan as a honorable mention as well. He had a great last couple of games there against the Bucks, Cardinals, Rams in the playoffs.
Yeah, I picked specifically for our league since Chase Brown was on my team.
I mean that's the perfect use case. And then Chase Brown was my next one too. So he was just awesome at the end of the year. 27 points in the championship game, 28 against Miami in the semifinal game. So clearly makes sense for our league. And then this is a fun category as well. A hated preseason player that ended up being good. And I meant to kind of like say this in like generally speaking, like ADP wise, like the narrative wasn't good on this player heading into the season. So I'm curious.
That's how I took it. That's good. Okay.
Who are you gonna
fire off the first one if you want?
Okay, I'll do the first one, and I'm gonna shout out Travis Etienne. I thought he was a really like people just were not in on him. I think he was like in the 8th round in most leagues. Like it was him and Bashal Tutin were basically like side by side in the ATP or ADP for a while.
I think Bigsby was still there too.
Bigsby was in the mix, which is wild. Yeah, so like Etienne had a really good year. Like I mean, he played well. He's probably going to be running it back. You would think with the Jags, but I guess he's a free agent as well, so he could maybe go on another team.
he's so tight with Trevor Lawrence at this point. Like they've been teammates for what, 8 years now?
Yeah, I mean it's been 5 with the
And
Jags,
at
and then
least
another 3
2 at
with the other.
Clemson, right?
Yeah, at
I
least a
can't
couple.
imagine he leaves. They might bring him back. He might get like a. Do you think he demands more than what Javonte Williams got?
Maybe. Like I don't really know if he's that good, Sean. I don't
I
know.
don't think he's like a top 10 back in the NFL. He's got some real flaws, but what he's good at, he's really good at is just creating explosives.
I think like I'm looking at his numbers here. Like he had a 4.2 yards per carry. He finishes RB9 on 1,100 yards and 7 touchdowns. He did have 6 receiving touchdowns, which is pretty wild. So like he does like he's good back, but a lot of his plays I did notice were like screen passes, designed kind of set up places. It's the Liam Cohen offense. This is what it is. So he's a great fit for that. I just don't know if he's that good of a back, and I feel like he is a little bit replaceable. And they did just put capital into Tootin as well, so like part of me thinks that he might not come back. But
They've got one of the best blocking backs in young 2x4.
I love the 2x4, and he got on the field quite a bit this season, all things considered. Like
Yeah.
he didn't do anything when he got on the field fantasy wise, but he was on the field for the blocking.
Dynasty team member currently.
Oh, you got him?
I do.
Oh wow, I'm excited. He's at least on a roster. He gets to spend an offseason in a team facility, a great 3P team facility as well. He's going to get to learn from the older guys.
The grind never stops. Or I picked up him and Mumfield at the end of the season.
Oh, I love Kanata Mumfield, Mumford and Sons.
Mumfield. You gotta see me shots.
All right, and who was your most hated player that ended up being good?
All right. Okay, so I've got 4 guys that.
Oh wow, you went harder on this one. I have one other one, and he was also on the Jaguars.
Oh, okay. I picked DeAndre Swift. That was maybe more of my bias.
I mean, I don't know any people that really felt good about DeAndre Swift. Like maybe Vince because he had him, but
yeah, it just felt like people were looking for like any reason, like to they're gonna trade for a back before the season starts. Oh well, what about Monangai? What about Roschon Johnson?
Yeah, they were finding every reason to not play him. Yeah,
yeah, but he had a really good year. I mean, they had like the best offensive line in front of him that they could have had, but he had a good offensive year.
Yeah, I mean, he held off Monangai all year. Realistically, he had 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, 4.8 yards per carry. His RB 14. Like he had a great year. Like I mean, I didn't believe him at all. Like so, this is the perfect person for this category. So, who else did you have? Because Trevor Lawrence is my other one.
Okay, I had Olave.
Okay.
On there.
Like people were down on him for sure.
And then I also had Kenneth Walker and I had Zay Flowers on there.
Okay. So tell me about Zay Flowers then.
I like just for where he finished, because he finished with 1,200 receiving yards, and like he was like wide receiver 5 this year?
He was wide receiver 8. And basically, Sean, he got most of those yards in 3 games.
Yeah.
So that's like that. It's so hard for me to like Zay Flowers. I don't know what it is. I have tried so hard to like him in fantasy. Like he's a good player. He's fine. He has a good floor every week. But it's just like there's something about him that I just can't fully invest. And it's maybe because most of his it's the touchdown production probably. He just doesn't get the touchdowns. He's got plenty of yards. He looks good, and he just doesn't get touchdowns. So I don't know.
I'd have to look it up again. I thought I remember somebody saying that he's never scored a touchdown inside the 10-yard line,
which is crazy because he's like the perfect screen receiver for like those kind of like tunnel screens and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely don't quote me on that. I have to relook that up, but it was something weird like that.
So the offensive coordinator is Declan Doyle this year.
First time play caller.
Don't know anything about him other than the Bears had him last year.
He came from Sean Payton and Ben Johnson.
I like that tree. So that already looks good for him.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly a jump up in terms of like he's gotten better all 3 years. So I'll say that. Like he had 800 yards the first year, 1,000 yards the next year. He had 1,200 this year. If he can get the touchdown numbers up a little bit, like then I'll be all in on him again. Like I feel like there's been a steady increase in his production, but just not like that huge jump yet for me. But yeah, good player. What was the other one you said?
Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, I mean, he was really good at the end of the year, of course. Super Bowl MVP. He's going to be looking really good heading into next year. And then the most injured of the year is basically what I call it. So this is the player that like was the most annoying to own because of a nagging injury. I thought this was an interesting category just because like everybody has these guys on their teams and they know who they have, but like when you're not owning that player, like they're super frustrating. And it's like, damn it, like I know you're probably good and you're usable, but like you're making it so hard to start you. So who is that player for you?
4 of the 5 guys I wrote down are on our teams. So.
There you go. Great. Let's hear
them. Drake London.
Perfect.
Rome Odunze.
Yes.
Josh Jacobs was the guy that wasn't on our teams, but I just remember him being just beat to hell all year.
Guy was banged every game. Questionable every week.
Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
And Brock Bowers.
Yeah, those are all great ones. Brock Bowers was my number one because, dude, like he would make it so you can't not start Brock Bowers. You just can't. And there was that stretch of the first like 4 weeks where he was definitely hurt very badly, and they kept putting him out there.
I believe it was a sprained MCL, right?
Yeah, it was a knee injury of some kind, and I just kept starting him because it's like, well, it's fucking Brock Bowers. Like I'm not gonna not play him. And then he would get, his ho-hum, like, 3 for 31 or whatever. But we all know he's better than 3 for 31. So it's like,
this was me with Drake London in the playoffs. Specifically in the playoffs. It was so annoying because I'm like, wait, London's going to play. I'm not going to start him. Like
that's what I didn't redraft. He was the only reason I even got there. So it's like, I was just like, oh, come on. Like, just fucking get out there, dude. Like, this is when I needed you.
Do math.
Come on, do math. Exactly. Yeah, that was not a fun one. And Odunze, like all year, just felt like he had some sort of like little bullshit injury that would keep him from like really putting up the big numbers. And of course, like everybody else in that offense has been ascending, and he kind of just plateaued this year. So it's like, damn, it's like be really nice if he could just be healthy.
I want to just in the Bears in general. I want to go back and I want to watch all of the drops for the Bears receivers, because I have a working theory that even if it's on target, not every pass from Caleb Williams is catchable.
That would be an interesting theory. I mean, what I have seen is they're
just the most insane flamethrower passes.
Yeah, I've never seen the ball. They have smoke coming out behind them, like rips.
I'm like, you're gonna throw a flamethrower to Olamide Zaccheaus? You think he's gonna catch that?
Well, it's funny too because like there are times where like when he's layering his throws like over and under guys, like he has the touch, but there's like just the regular old passes like an out route or like a stop route, like he's slinging them in there.
He does not have that touch when he's on the move. Sometimes, like it is just like the amount of core strength that he gets into those passes on the move is insane. But like, there's no like, all right, let's settle this down while we're on the move. It's just like
he's what we call a 1-speed quarter, but like we're just going and we're not. There's no like nuance to it. Like especially on those like you said, when he's on the run, he's like rolling left or whatever, and just fucking. I'm just gonna throw as hard as I fucking can. I do love that. Like it's fun to watch. But
I mean, he is easily like one of the 5 most entertaining players to watch in the NFL, especially at quarterback.
He was like just so exciting to watch. I mean, especially as having him on my team. It's like it's just like every week was like, man, like what kind of shit is he gonna pull out of his ass this week? And like that playoff performance against the Packers was just incredible. Like I mean, what a fun time. And he took a step up this year for sure. Like I would imagine next year he'll take that next step as well with another year in the system. So that'd be fun. All right. So we're at about an hour. So I think this might actually be a good place to stop. And then next week we have just run news and notes. So I said we're going to have a lot more next week after the combine as well. So we'll have all the coaches. We'll do like a coaching carousel kind of breakdown on how that looks for our fantasy players. We can do a combine review to start talking about some of these draft prospects, and then maybe a bit of a free agency preview as well to kind of see where some of these guys might land. So I think that would be a good overall episode. Also,
before we get out of here, any predictions for anything in particular at the combine for any players that are doing anything?
Man, I don't know. I won't. I will be honest. I haven't focused too much on a couple of the position groups. Like for running back, for example, I'm not as, uh, I guess, researched on that one quite yet because I really don't think it's a great class. There's a couple of them that I've like. Obviously, Love is great, but there's a few others that I like. The receivers, like, there's going to be some fast guys for sure.
Yeah, Brennan Thompson is going to run 4.25 or better, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to play some prize picks for sure on a couple of these to see if I can get some 40-yard dash money out of this. But yeah, I think there's gonna be a few. Do you have any other ones off the top of your head?
Kenyon Sadiq is going to look insane.
Dude, he's
an athletic freak.
I mean, you know how much I love the position, but that guy is awesome.
I think by the time, I don't know, is Boston running? Is he?
I would like to see him run because
if
he seems
looks
like a sluggish guy.
If he looks good at the combine, I think we could be talking about him potentially going as wide receiver 2 or 3 in the draft instead of 4.
Wow. I mean, over Tate?
He's got,
or do you think Tate's number 1?
I think Tate's going to be the first wide receiver off the board.
I would think too, right? Like,
I'm starting to think that Jordan Tyson might not like be on the first round board for a lot of teams because of his medicals.
The injuries are rough for him. I've been seeing that more, that he's kind of sliding down, but he also seems like the perfect guy that like the Ravens would pick because the value is so good and he's awesome. Like, I don't know.
I've got him mocked to the Steelers right now.
Boy, that would be a great fit. It's a great team for him.
So,
well, yeah, and like, so there will be, well, obviously we'll get way more into this in previous or as previously mentioned in other episodes. Like, we have a whole draft preview show. We'll definitely try to get Charlie on against here as well. But for the combine, we'll break down all the draft prospects next time on the podcast. One thing I will mention before we get done here is I am going to send out a survey for all pro voting. So every year for the last couple of years, we've been doing all pros. I want to keep that going. So be on the lookout for that. I'm also going to just do like a general league survey with some questions and see if anybody maybe wants to submit any, potential rule changes or anything like that too. Now is probably the time. So be on the lookout for that, and we will see you next time